what's up? It's Sean Baligian.
What up? This is Joique Bell here on the Baligian and Bell Show.
Make sure you check us out on the Woodward Sports Network. What is up? So glad you could join us on a Wednesday morning here on Woodward Sports. Fantastic to be back in the studio with my man over there. See him? See him? Look at that pan job. Great job panning down. You guys are pros. And you can't even tell. You know what I'm doing? I'm looking in the camera right now, but I'm also kind of doing this, looking. Ooh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Joique Bell. What's up, Joique?
What up, though?
You all right?
What up, though, Wednesdays? What up, though?
What up, though?
You want to tell people what up, though, Wednesdays are?
No, I want you to do it.
All right, what up, though, Wednesday is basically where when people have small businesses or things that's going on in Detroit, you guys let us know here at the show, and we give you guys a little pub to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
If you want to hit us up, and Art, I know you're taking a look at some of the comments, whether it be on YouTube or Twitter, and I've got Facebook in front of me. If you are running a business and you need a little love, that's what we're here for.
That's all we hear.
It's really that simple.
What up, though, Wednesdays?
Isn't the state unbelievable? You decided to bring some of the mountains and the skiing back with you, which was so kind.
You know, you know what? I had such a great time in Colorado with my son that I'm like, you know what, son? Let's bring some of the snow back with us, and that's exactly what we did.
This is what we need right now.
That's what we needed,
dude. You know what? I left and I think this is something that everybody can relate to in a certain regard. I had my truck outside in the driveway because it's like, yeah, whatever, big deal, and you know, I'll just. It was weird because like last night where I live, it was like that rain, and then the snow came down, right? So what happens is, I mean, literally, I had this much ice on my car. And so being the dummy that I am, you know, I usually leave at about 9:25 to make my way over here, to matriculate my way over the Woodward Sports studios. And I go up to the car, and it was just like, I'm not going anywhere for 10 minutes. I mean, the thing was just caked in ice. I mean, it was, and you know, it was weird because it's like, it didn't bother me. You know, like a lot of people just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe. It wasn't that cold. I think if it was like 15 degrees, I would have been like, screw this, I'm sick. Guys, you're going to have to do the show today. It wasn't that, but the drama of having to fire up the defrost all the way and then take out the scraper and all that stuff, I just didn't need it this morning. Just didn't need it.
No. So what I would do is, you have an automatic starter, right? Just start it up, and I'll let it go until the ice melts. I'm not going out there with no scraper.
For real?
Yeah, I'm not going. I'm let it just go until the ice melts. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but you know, usually
10 minutes. Took 10 minutes.
Yeah, but usually I just parking in the garage, and your truck is so big it can't fit in the garage.
Thankfully, it does, barely, but it does. And I made a critical mistake last night. I didn't do it. Oh well. You know what I kept telling myself though? This is weird. I don't know if you guys did the same thing, okay? So it was like 28 degrees, and like the high today, sorry to go all meteorologist on you. The high today is going to be 43, and honest to God, I thought to myself, we probably aren't going to have a day like this for 6-7 months. No, I'm serious. I'm putting the bet down. Art just gave me the look. I'm putting the bet down.
No, it's just crazy how last week we can have like almost an 80 degree weather day, and now this week we're back down to the 30s.
Have you guys never lived here before? Like, we're gonna have one more snow. Wait, this wasn't it. We got one more coming.
I think it's too late. Now I do remember one year. It was actually the 2005 draft where that was the infamous Mike Williams draft, and So the draft on Saturday when they picked Mike Williams, it was a really nice day. And then that night, we had like 6 inches of snow. I mean, it was like April 27th or whatever the hell it was. And it was like, and it wasn't like this annoying snow. Like, I look outside, it's all melted now, right? It's probably where you're at, it's all melted. But the interesting thing about it is that, I mean, it was 6 inches of snow.
But we were supposed to have that.
Yeah.
We were supposed to have 8 to 10 inches, and now we had a dusting. I mean, I think we still have one more coming.
Yeah. Yep. I doubt it. I don't know if we're going to.
If I go back to Colorado and come back, we'll have enough snow.
Yeah,
we'll have enough snow.
That is true.
That's going to be, yeah.
They're going to charge $400 for a gallon of gas, too. Goggle prices.
No, dude, you know.
The prices went up. Yeah. The prices are going up for gas now, right?
Yeah,
but when you had mentioned that yesterday, like $170 for a pair of goggles, that's price gouging. Like, that's profit.
My God.
It costs 25 cents to make those goggles. $170 later.
Bro, I saw, listen, $170 for a pair of gloves. A pair of gloves. You know, and I wised up, so I tried to go to like a Walmart in Denver, and they were all sold out, waterproof thin gloves. So I was like, dang, I got to get the gloves from there now. You know, but luckily I got the goggles from here around the corner, but even the goggles here around the corner were $100. And I go to Walmart there, and I see some nice goggles there for like 20-something bucks.
Can't you just use like swimmer's goggles? All you got to do is protect your eyes. Michael Phelps goggles?
We can tell a person who's never been anywhere.
I just
Art, put the camera on you real quick, Art.
I would have grabbed a pair of sunglasses.
Art, put the camera on you real quick.
You're gonna comment how pale I am?
A person that's never been anywhere before.
Never.
Look at it.
Nope, I'm powder.
Hey, do you travel at all?
Powder!
Yeah.
Art, have you ever traveled anywhere?
Yeah, I've been to like Vegas, and I lived in Texas for a little bit. Yeah.
Where'd you live in Texas?
Brownsville.
Oh, it's beautiful down there.
Yeah, I lived there for 9 months. I was like one of 2 white people. I didn't know Spanish, so.
No crap. Have you ever been down there? Brownsville?
I don't even know where
Like
that is.
Brownsville's 5 minutes from the Mexican border.
Yeah, way down there.
Where I lived, there was 2 canals that separated my house from Mexico.
Were you working in radio?
No, I was 14, 15 years old.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm cultured. I mean, I look cultured, but I'm cultured. If the light shines on me too much, I make it a tan.
So what happened to Vegas when you were there?
I went there with my dad. My dad and I, it was the first time I was on a plane and everything. I was like 22, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
No, I'm being serious. So really, that's the only. See, this is the funny thing about Woodward Sports is we start the show off with conversation and everything. At least we do. It's nice to catch up. All three of us are back and everything.
How was your weekend?
But yeah, exactly. How are you doing? How is your life?
Joique trying to talk to a simpleton as, again, he floats here. So, like, I don't understand his logic. I don't know what it would. $170 for goggles?
Aren't you?
I didn't pay that.
You really haven't traveled that much?
No.
You've been.
I've been to Florida. I've been to Florida, Vegas, and Texas.
Wow.
How old are you again?
32.
Damn.
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. Your money will come back. Your time won't. Go travel.
How am I supposed to travel? I ain't got no money.
You have a car, right?
Yeah, but I've got a cracked windshield on it, so I don't want to drive a whole lot. And that's $800. You got some of that Tesla money, Joique?
I got a couple dollars. I mean,
okay.
I'm
Can we do a
okay.
GoFundMe for Art's windshield?
Let's do a GoFundMe to like send Art someplace.
yeah,
Art, I want you to see
Do you
the
have
world,
a passport?
dude.
Can you go to Canada?
No, I don't even have an enhanced license. I can't afford it. It's like,
So you've
know what,
never even been to Canada?
yeah, I've been to Windsor when I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna
Rite of
tell you this.
passage.
Whether you say you can or you can't, you're right.
That is
So
true.
you keep so stop saying you can't afford and say I will afford it, and it will happen for you. Stop saying I can't.
dude, I loved. I know I mentioned it yesterday, but it bears repeating. I loved Denver. Seriously, what a cool.
It's so
what
cool.
a cool city. It's just
beautiful.
a great area, man. It really is. It's. I bears repeating. Sorry if you heard it yesterday, but I was there on the 4th of July in 1998. It was 101 degrees in downtown Colorado or downtown Denver. I drove 30 minutes away. Like, I think it was it Pikes Peak, whatever it is. And we were throwing snowballs at each other. Like, on a 101 degree day. It was, like, that was just like, so, I mean, literally, Joique, it was a half hour away, and there's snow everywhere. Just a weird area like that.
Yeah. So when you guys drove from Denver, where did you guys drive to?
I think it was Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak.
I think that's what it was called.
Okay.
It was maybe. I know it was near Boulder. I know it was near Boulder where University of Colorado.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's beautiful there, right? So you get there to Denver, and so me and my son. So we flew on Saturday. We got there. We landed, and I said, listen. I didn't tell them what we were going to do. I said, listen. These are your options. We can go to the museum. We can go to the aquarium. We can go. I think it was one more thing, and I said, we can go to Sky Zone. Sky Zone.
Art's in too. I saw Art's in the other room. Art's eyes lit up. Art's all in.
And so I said, listen, we're going to get dinner after we leave Sky Zone, so you want to get something small now because we just had a long flight. So we stopped by. We get Chick-fil-A. You can never go wrong with Chick-fil-A. Never go wrong there.
How long was the wait?
It wasn't long at all.
Oh.
It wasn't long at all. It was probably, as we pulled up, my son said this is the shortest Chick-fil-A line he's ever seen. And so we probably had our food within 5 minutes of getting there.
Oh.
Yeah, so it wasn't long at all. So we get our food, we eat, we go to Sky Zone. I called Coach Mockins after we were about to leave Sky Zone. So we're at Sky Zone. My son makes 1,000 friends there. And then we have a thing where he thought he can dunk on me on the basketball rim off the trampoline.
Jeez.
I have a video of that, but we'll play it later.
You disrespected him. I couldn't believe, you don't go easy on your kid, which I respect that.
No.
But you dunked on him.
No. I didn't dunk on him. He tried to dunk on me, and I blocked his shot.
Yeah.
I dunked on him too, but we didn't get that on film. We didn't catch that. But no. So we go. We do that. They had the zip line in there. We did the zip line. They had the dodgeball, and I'm just in there. And at first, I'm just watching the kids play. And then I saw all the big kids trying to team up against the smaller kids. And so I get in and I go in there and I just
No, not today.
I'm throwing some flamers.
He's going Matumbo on all these kids.
No. And so I get out. I mean, I'm throwing 60, 70 miles per hour at first. And then I loosened up the old cannon. And I brought back my high school days, and I saw a slinging. I mean, headshot. Bow. Bow. No mercy on these kids. I'm just glad that parents weren't there. And so I'm just throwing them, and we had a great time. It got to a point I started sweating, so I had to go back and say, I didn't mean to start sweating in here. And so I sat back down, and so we end up leaving, and I reached out to Coach Mockins. But he was 35 minutes going the opposite way, and we were going to drive back. And I'm like, that's an hour. That's too much time wasted. I'm already tired, so let's just get there. So we go to Vail. We leave Denver. We're going to Vail, and the view the view that you witness, just driving there, is beautiful, right? And so my son is tired now. His body's sore. He's tired from jumping around for 2.5, 3 hours. So we hop in the car. He sleep, and I keep waking him up. Get a video of this. Wake up. This is gorgeous. Wake up. And so he's up like this, taking videos, falling out asleep. and so we get that, and we get to the hotel. We order. I go get a pizza. We sit down. We watch movies, and the next day is when we went skiing. And I met a chef there that barbecues, and the only thing I could think about was you, Sean. Only person I can think about was you, Sean. And he was a 24-year-old who started barbecuing when he was 14, and room service closed at 9. He said, "Call me at 8:50. I'll do something special for you." I met him, and called him. He made my son a ribeye. My son loved it. He made me this vegan pasta dish that was, it was, I don't know what he put in there. I gotta reach out to him on Instagram and figure out what he put in it. It was delicious, Sean. And so we end up eating that and woke up at 2 in the morning and drove back to Denver. Caught our 6 o'clock flight. We did.
Isn't it funny? You told me, and I know we're up against a break, and I promise you, something cool somebody put out last night on Twitter we're going to talk about, about championship teams, because we're in a drought here in Detroit. But you brought up something to me when we were off the air before the show started. Isn't it funny how when you're traveling, because this happened to us in the Keys, it was the last day we were there, and we were at this beautiful restaurant right at the marina, and it was so weird because at the marina, everybody kind of gasped, and there was this shark swimming by. I guess it was like not a vicious shark or whatever word it would use, but it just everybody gasped and all that. But it was so funny, Joique, because, and this is, I wanted to surprise you with this because you brought this up. This lady happened to, our waitress was like, so where are you guys all from? And, you know, I made the crack. I go, is it that obvious that we're not from here? And she goes, yeah, it is and everything. And I said, we're from Detroit, right? And her eyes got so big, like and she goes, no way, where are you from? And I said, well, we live in a little city called Northville and everything. Eyes got even bigger. I'm from Brighton. Like, she was so excited that somebody else from Michigan was there.
Yeah.
But it was funny because you had a similar thing.
Yeah. So it was pretty funny. So after me and my son finished skiing, we came back to the hotel room and we ordered room service and we put on a movie and took a nap because we was kind of fatigued from the mountains. So the food comes, we wake up, we leave out, and I said, well, we about to go to dinner. And we get out there, we're walking around we walk out the hotel, we're in this village, Vail Village, and they have like a lot of little cute shopping stores and restaurants around the area. And I said, what are you in the mood for? He said, Dad, I'm not really that hungry. I said, me either. I don't want to just eat. And then he said, well, how about some ice cream? Light bulb. Great idea, son. One of your most brilliant ideas I ever heard you come up with. So we go grab ice cream. We come back. They have this big gas bonfire outside of our hotel. And there's a few people out there sitting down eating. Well, sitting down, just conversing back and forth. So it was a woman and her daughter. So we sit down and we're on the other side of the bonfire. And we just start having a conversation. I'm like, well, they're like, oh, where you guys from? I'm like, oh, we're from Detroit. And they said, well, oh, we're from Chicago. I said, oh. And as we were having this conversation, our waitress was coming out. He hates Chicago, if you guys don't know. Our waitress is coming out, and the waitress says, did I hear somebody say they're from Detroit? I was like, yeah, I live in Detroit. She said, I'm from Detroit. What? I said, what part? I said, I live on the east side. I said, what part are you from? And she was like, well, I grew up in Birmingham. It's not Detroit, but it's close.
We do it all the time. We do it all the time.
Not Detroit, but okay. Well, I gave her a pass. So I said, oh, okay. Well, my office is in Birmingham. And so later on, me and my son, you have to set reservations for the hot tub and the pool. So we set a reservation for the pool like around 8 o'clock. We go out there. It's a couple in there, and they're talking we're having a conversation. They're like, where you from? Like, from Detroit. Oh, I'm from Detroit. I'm like, what part? And she was like, oh, I grew up in Birmingham. I said, oh, not from Detroit, but hey, once again, I'm like, it's funny. My waitress is from, Birmingham as well. Like my studio where I do my sports broadcasting is out of Birmingham. She said, where? And she knew exactly what the place was. Yeah. And so it was just weird. Like, Detroiters, Michiganders, we're everywhere. Yeah. We're everywhere. And so it was pretty dope.
Isn't it funny, though? I mean, Art, this goes back to a conversation we had with you a few weeks ago. Like, when you guys watching, when you're someplace and somebody asks where you're from, you say Detroit. No, the reality is...
No, he says Flint.
No, yeah, I was going to say.
He says Flint.
Even though he's not in Flint,
at all.
Maybe people can understand. But I say Detroit everywhere I go. And I never lived in the city. I was in the ghetto of L-Town and then moved to Canton and then moved to Northville. I mean, that's where I've lived. But it's funny you say that because it's like that's your immediate reaction. Is when somebody asks where you from? Detroit.
What part?
The mean streets. I'm from the mean streets, okay? Yeah, it's funny that happens. Hey, in case you missed it last night, and I want to give proper attribution. Who put out this tweet last night? Do you know who put out the tweet last night, Stick? Stick's in the house, too. Hi, Stick. Good morning.
Hey, everybody. Hold on. Art's going to put us on the camera real quick.
All right.
No, what's interesting is since we have all these social contributors and stuff, I'm learning who it is without knowing who it is. Yeah. And that's a Nick Leach tweet all day long. Okay. That's a Nick Leach all day long.
It was fantastic. In case you missed it last night, Nick put out a tweet asking a simple question. I've seen 8 of these teams. How many have you seen? And we'll delve into the question when we come back. So glad you could join us. It is a Wednesday morning here on Woodward Sports. Gang, all back in the house. It's been quite some time, but here we are, and there you are on Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
What up, Dope? So glad you could join us here on Woodward Sports. We're going to get to this graphic in just a second. This was a tweet that came out last night, and I think everybody's got their own personal reasonings. You know, it's funny because I think a lot of times if you're a bigger hockey fan or a bigger baseball fan or a bigger basketball fan, whatever the case may be, people assume when this question is asked that it's going to be the hockey championship or the basketball championship or the baseball championship, you know, depending on, you know, what your favorite sport is. But, you know, it's interesting when we ask this question, and Nick put this out last night. In case you missed it, last night on Twitter, we asked which Detroit championship team is your favorite team. And it's interesting because, you know, as you take a look at it there, obviously there are a few choices. Now, if you're one of those people that you say the 1957 Lions, chances are you did not see that. It's interesting. I don't know if you guys have done this. I had many conversations with my father about the 1957 championship. And the one thing that my dad said to me, and you know, I'll never forget this. And Joique, I think I've told you, both my dad and my grandfather called me nuts for being a Lion fan and wearing things like that and this. And one day when the Lions win a Super Bowl, I'll be sure to visit both of their graves to say, hey, did you guys see that?
You gonna take some drinks?
Yeah, I probably will pour one out for my homies. Yeah. Take my 40 and pour one out for my homie. Yeah. But you know what? But the one thing my dad told me about the 1957 championship, he was 10, and he said, honestly, Sean, I didn't think that much about it because the Lions were such a good team, you know, when I was growing up, that I just figured, well, I'll probably see another, you know, championship or 5 and all that. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing how that works out? But we'll continue the conversation in just a moment. Joique, I believe we have a caller. So
we have a caller right now?
Yeah, put those headphones on and we can chat with the caller. You're more than welcome to call in and chime in on the show all the time. What's that number again? Can you put that number up for me, Art, so I can let everybody
get that number up,
look
man.
at Art's the best. 313-552-6322. That's 313-552-6322. We'll ask you what your favorite championship was, how many championships you got a chance to see. I've seen 8. I've seen 8 here in our fair city, but it took a while to get to the first one. But in the meantime, Fish, who do we got on the line?
Yeah, we have a caller that wants to talk about that. He wants to talk about the Red Wings and the ups and downs of the Red Wings. It is Zach.
What's up, Zach? So glad you could join us. Joique Bell, Sean Baligian here on Woodward Sports.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call this morning. How you guys doing?
Excellent, man. Thanks for calling in.
Zach. What's up?
Not much, man. Not much, guys. Thanks for having me on. I've only grown up with 3 teams. 3 championship teams. The others, like when the Wings had that dominant run, 96, 97, 97, 98, the 2 years they won the back-to-back Stanley Cups. I still remember as a kid growing up having the VHS and watching those over the summer and having those basically on a loop and could almost recite it word for word. That's how much I remember of those. But to me, the 2 teams that I grew up with that I love as championship teams, to me, the 01-02 Red Wing team. I mean, loaded with Hall of Famers.
Unbelievable.
I mean, there were so many guys. One of my favorites they brought in was Dominic Hasek when they brought him in from Buffalo and really to help with the goaltending. But really, if you think about it, that was really the end of what was one of the greatest one of the greatest rivalries in our time, and that's the Red Wings Avalanche.
Yep.
And really what I would say was the beginning of the downfall for Colorado, because at that time they were coming off a Stanley Cup. You know, who was going to get by them, and it only was going to make sense if we were going to win this cup to defeat Colorado and to defeat Patrick Waugh and Sakic and Forsberg. And when those guys did it, I mean, I still go back at times and watch Game 7 of that conference finals in 2002, just because of what was the beginning of the end, just the domination and how pure that was to see that. But then I look at the 2004 Pistons team, and really the last team that I can sit here and say didn't have a superstar to win, that needed to win a championship. But to do what they did, to stop that team with the Lakers, Kobe, Shaq, Gary Payton, Karl Malone, everybody had said that they were going to be the team. They were going to roll over the Pistons. And then what Detroit did to them in 5, I don't think, and we've seen that kind of domination against that kind of team, against that kind of Hall of Fame talent in a very long time. And that to me, it resembled the city. I think what those guys did, the way that they carried themselves, you couldn't ask for a better group to get it done. And really, that was a team that was just so much fun to watch.
Zach, I couldn't agree with you more. I was working in radio at the time, and I would say that on the radio, I've never in my lifetime seen a team around here that just exemplified our city and everything about our region like the 04 Pistons did. And I think you make such a great point, because the 02 Red Wings, okay, were kind of that assembled mercenary team that the Lakers were trying to be in 04. You know, you went out and you got Luc Robitaille. You went out and you got Brett Hull. You went out and got Dominik Hasek. And you got all these pieces, and you put it all together, and you were able to knock off Colorado. And you're absolutely right in your assertion, because if you remember, I'm a big Patrick Waugh fan. Patrick Waugh retired the next year. They were upset in the first round, and Patrick Waugh retired, and that was effectively the end of, you know, what was a tremendous run for the Avs as well. But the 04 Pistons were kind of the anti-mercenary. You know what I mean? And it was so crazy. The thing that I remember about the Pistons was, you know, there were little things. It was like that Game 7 against New Jersey, and it was so loud in that building. But the Indiana series, and everybody thought that whoever won that series was just going to be the sacrificial lamb for the Lakers. And it was, they were, not only were they going to be beaten, but they were going to be trounced and humiliated. And somebody, and I forget who it was, maybe it was Charles Barkley, I don't know. But I remember after one of the playoff games, somebody said, this Pacers-Pistons series has set the NBA back 20 years because it was so defensive. There wasn't a lot of star quality to it and everything. And then a couple weeks later, the Pistons get done whooping on the Lakers. It was so Detroit. There's no, I mean, really, Joique, it was so Detroit. It was like, oh yeah, you counted us out. You thought we were going to get our butts whooped. And they were doing the butt whooping. It was just a beautiful thing, Zach.
You know what? And when you say that, right, it reminds me of the So Detroit, and everybody thought we was going to get our butt whipped, and that's the definition of Detroit versus everybody.
Yep, it is.
Everyone counting you out, everyone throwing you to the back burner. I mean, and then you come back out and then you win. I wonder what has been talked about in those locker rooms to give these guys that type of motivation, that type of drive to go out there and say, you know what, I am, we are, you know. And so it's great to be able to see that in the locker room, and how they played on the court is truly the identity of Detroit. I love it.
Everybody's got their different favorites. Tammy said the 02 Wings just because of all the Hall of Fame players. Shane said the 89-90 Pistons had so much to overcome in the 80s. Celtics and Lakers, two of the best ever. Seeing them grow and finally get over the Celtics was awesome. Then the phantom foul. You know, for me, Shane, it was you had to beat Dominique in Atlanta. Then you had to beat the Celtics. Then you had to beat the Lakers, and then those two championships came. It was such a special time. I have a funny story to tell. I've said this before, and Tammy brought this up. I'll never forget. I went to a practice one morning when the Wings brought in Dominik Hasek, And I went to a practice one morning, and I've talked to Mac. If you're watching, you'll remember this. So basically, at the end of practice, they had everybody line up at center ice, and they took basically penalty shots on Dominik Hasek. The entire team lined up, and they took penalty shots on Dominik Hasek, right? So, you're talking 22 players on the ice. 22 players go down the ice.
Let me guess, not one.
Not one. Okay, so they line up again. 22 players go down the ice. We get about halfway through. He makes this unbelievable stop on Brendan Shanahan. Shanahan stops and is like standing there looking at him, shaking his head like, what the is wrong with you? I'll never forget that. It was just like he was looking at him like, what are you? Are you a witch? Like and it was so funny because then finally somebody scored towards the end of the second time around, and Hasek slams a stick on the ice, and he's all pissed off, and the guys celebrate like they win the Stanley Cup. Like everybody's going, yay, we finally scored on him. He's actually human. And Hasek was so pissed, so he shut everybody down again for another turn. I mean, it was, and it's funny. You knew, okay, something special's going on here. Something special's going on.
So was this something similar? So have you ever seen the movie Senseless with Marlon Wayans where, all right, it's a movie where he basically, he goes into this, he was working, he's a smart kid, he's trying to get his foot in the door of this big Fortune 500 company, and so he signs up for this, he's trying to get extra money, so he signs up for this I don't know, when you can go in and test different drugs for different companies. So he signs up for it, and they give him a shot. And so the shot, it amplified everything. So his vision, his touch, his feel, his hearing, his I guess his athleticism. And so he joins up for the hockey team to be able to put that on his resume to get into this Fortune 500 company. And so he tried to put his team before, he sucked. And then after the shot, they put him at goalie, and the whole team was taking shots on him, and not one person was able to get a shot. And then he made the team, became like one of the star players. So was it something similar to that?
It was insane. I'm not joking. And
you got to see that movie Senseless. You'll like it.
The thing about Dominik Hasek too is he was so unorthodox, right? You couldn't define how he played. Was he a stand-up? Was he a butterfly? No, he was just unorthodox, and he was making crazy saves, like how does your leg bend that way type of stuff. And like I said, here's a Hall of Famer, Brendan Shanahan, stopping and literally going, like, just stood next to him, just going, what's wrong with you? I mean, I'll never ever forget that. We'll get more of your thoughts. Yeah. Steve on Facebook brought up a great moment from the 0-4 run that every time I see this play, it still boggles my mind. It's like, how did that happen? It was a superhuman thing. Don't go anywhere. We'll continue the conversation next. More of your thoughts. Glad you could join us. It's a Wednesday?
But Sean.
What up, Doe Wednesday?
But Sean.
Yeah?
Did I tell you about Northwestern Tech?
Isn't he a pro? No, Joique, I'd love to hear about Northwestern Tech.
Let me tell you about Northwestern Tech then. Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. Learn more today by visiting northwesterntech.edu. Joique Bell, Sean Baligian, Woodward Sports. Stay tuned.
We are here, downtown Fenton, my favorite Bridge Street Exchange.
That's right, and you want to switch up your wardrobe this summer? It's this easy. Ready, Joey?
I'm ready.
All right, you ready? I like it. You want to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Ooh, Brixton, nice. One more time?
Yes.
Ooh, I like the hat on this one too. You ready to do it one more time, Joey?
I'm getting tired. One last one.
All right, let's change it. Bro, where's your shirt? You need new clothes this summer. Bridge Street Exchange in Fenton. That's where you need to go. Thank you, guys.
All right, welcome back in. Steve said the memory I will always keep is Tay blocking Reggie Miller. It defied like physics. Every time I watch it play, I half expect him not to block it, even though I've seen the play 500,000 times in my life. We made comment about this the other day, but it bears repeating. When I see Corey with a K run down the hallway, I know it's time to go to Corey with a K in the booth with Art. Corey with a K, who do you got?
All right, so breaking news from the NFL Network. The civil suit between Antonio Brown and Brittany Taylor, who was accusing Antonio Brown of, the rape case, it's gone. It's dismissed. They've both settled. I'm going to read the statement. Elena Burston, founder and owner of OFM, has advised on behalf of her client Antonio Brown that Antonio and Brittany have been friends over a decade. Several years ago, they almost became business partners. Recently, they were involved in aggressive litigation. Having reflected on their relationship, both feel that the time has come to move on. Antonio is grateful for Brittany's excellent training assistance. They are pleased that Antonio is doing well with the Bucks and has a ring. Their dispute is resolved, and they wish each other great continued success. My team is excited about moving ahead with many opportunities and requests for Antonio.
All right, there you have it.
There you have it.
Yeah, it's what's going to be interesting is to see if Antonio Brown can ever get back to being Antonio Brown. Where I think there was a few year span there, Joique, where you could say once Chauvin left, Antonio Brown was the best receiver in the league.
He was up there.
Yeah,
he was up there.
Yeah,
you can argue that.
Yeah,
I'm not going to argue that. What's up, Fish?
We've got another caller today. And it's another championship caller. He's going to talk about the 84 Tigers. Mike.
Mike, good morning. Glad you could join us.
How's it going, Sean?
How you doing, Mike?
Pretty good. This is Mike from West Branch. I haven't talked to you in a little over a year since your change of scenery.
It's a pleasure to chat with you, Mike. And you know what? I still keeping that scenery as well. I'm blessed I'm able to do a couple different things, but thank you.
Absolutely, and Joique, I loved watching you play, man.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks for calling.
You got to respect a running back that runs as hard as you did. So it was a joy to watch you.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Anyway, the reason why I'm calling is, man, you can't overlook the '84 Tigers.
No, sir.
I was 10 years old, watching Gibby hit that home run off of Gossage. I mean, thinking about it even now, I get goosebumps. For years, I was a employee of Blockbuster Video down in the Detroit area, one of the best jobs I ever had. And I bought the VHS of it so I can go back. Believe it or not, I still have a working VCR. It shows my age also. But I always go back and watch that. And, it has the close-ups of Sparky sitting there talking about how he wants to pitch to you. And, I mean, if that just doesn't bring back goosebumps to you, nothing will.
I'm with
you. I cannot wait for my Tigers to become that again.
Mike,
We'll see what happens here.
I think anybody that knows me knows that I am a hockey fan first, followed by football. But if I had to pick one off that list, I feel the exact same way as you do. The '84 Tigers, it was so magnificent, majestic. I mean, what people don't understand is really it was from the first day of the year. And Mike, thank you for the kind words and the phone call. Hope everything's well up in West Branch. From the first day of the year, they were in first place all year. Jack Morris threw a no-hitter, a week into the season. It was, this word is thrown around too often, okay? It was a team of destiny. It really was. It was a team of destiny. And as a footnote, I've told this story before. I don't mean to gross you all out. But when they won the World Series, the spontaneous celebrations like all around town were incredible. And I was at 7 and Middle Belt, and it was weird because like part of the traffic stopped and people were just out of their vehicles and everything. And this very lovely girl walked up to me. I was 14 years old, walked up to me, and she goes, "Yay, Tigers, you're a cutie," and gave me a kiss I'll never forget in my lifetime. It was I didn't know tongues could touch down there like that. And she was a couple years older than me, I'm guessing. But yeah, I'm never
keep it PG.
But like honestly, it was one of those things. It's like you never forget that.
How old were you when that happened?
14. I was 14.
How old was she?
I would say she was 17. She was a few years older than me. She goes, "Yay, Tigers," and she was like, "You're a cutie," and then just walked up and just gave me this kiss, and I was like, "Can I have some more?" But it was.
That's my boy.
I'll never
That's
forget
my
that.
boy.
Yeah, I'll never forget
You
that.
see it? All right. You see it? Check him out.
Please,
Look at that.
can we do that
Playboy
again?
shine.
But it was, that team was so, and going down to the park that summer, the wave was the big thing, and it was just every game seemed like a party. It was incredible. And so, I have fond memories of '97, the Wings winning. I have fond memories of that. And as I mentioned, the 04 Pistons is something that has a special place in my heart. But pin me down. Yeah, it's the first championship I saw in 1984. And like I said, I've been lucky. I've been fortunate. I've seen the Tigers win. I've seen the Red Wings win 4 times. I've seen the Pistons win 3 times. There's one missing from that. It's going to happen before I go. It is. Mr. Holmes, Mr. Campbell, please be the answer. Please, pretty please be the answer. This area will party like it's never partied before when you guys win. I will make sure I will find the funding to erect statues for you. I promise, Joique, we will join forces and we will erect a statue for Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell if you win a Super Bowl. I promise you.
Here's your back in my day picture
Yes.
of Detroit Lions, 1957 world champions.
I have that. I have that framed in my basement.
You too?
I do.
They made paper back then?
Well, I was 25 at the time, as you well know, back in '57. But no, all jokes aside, I have that. I have that framed in my basement. Yep.
We got to get you a new one.
Want
to be nice to get you a new one?
Yes, I swear I will put up statues. I will find a way. I will talk to people. I will get the money for it. I will build statues for you.
Someone said on YouTube that you were 27 in 1957.
I was 25 actually. I was 25.
I'm sorry. That was such a mean thing to...
I was 20. I told you I was 25 back in '57. I wish. Steve said your wife was listening. No, my wife knows the story of when I was a 14-year-old lad. She goes, "Oh, that's so funny." Yeah, she thought.
So how was your wife in '57? If you were 25?
Oh, you know my wife. My wife was much younger. She wasn't born yet for another 16 years.
That was a good save. That was a damn good save.
I robbed the cradle. I was She was. I think she was 15 when we started dating, and by that time I was 52.
About 52.
So, yeah, it was 52.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a good. Did
All right,
you like
Hugh
that?
Hefner.
I saved myself.
All right.
That was a
Playboy Mansion. All right.
Good.
I got you.
Scott said, "I'm still missing my Detroit Drive championship." Do you remember the Drive playing in the Palace about the Arena League? It's fun to go to those games, though. The Detroit Drive were an Arena League team that played at the Palace, and it was fun. But it was different.
What was it?
Nothing in real life.
Yeah. What was it? I don't even know what it is. It's slang.
The Arena League it's like
like football.
Arena football, yeah.
And they play at the Palace.
They played at the Palace. It was like a condensed football field that like literally had like sideboards and everything.
Who knew?
Yeah, it was crazy. It
was in the 90s.
Started in the 90s. The Drive were here, I think, until 02, 03 maybe. And you know what? All right, Scott, we're old enough to remember. Do you know what the Arena League basically was, Joique? What the NFL is today? Look at all our pretty passing yards. We're gonna pass all over the place. There you go. There's the Detroit Drive.
Detroit Drive. There we go.
We throw. It's what we do. Let's go to the aquarium quickly before we take a break. Fish, what do you got?
I went to some of their games in Cleveland. They had an arena football team. It's fun to watch some football indoors.
It was different. That was you know what you should do, Joique.
You want to watch football you want to watch football indoors? Go to the Lions game.
I wish they were outdoors.
Do you know what it was, though? I think they tried to do like what the USFL tried to do. They tried it. We're going to do it in the spring, in the summer, and we're going to take advantage of all the people that desperately miss football. And, the arena football was, it was a niche thing. It just was. If you liked it, like Steve said, if you liked it, arena football at the Dow Event Center, if you liked it, you went.
Could you bet on those games?
Back then, I don't think so.
But you can bet on the games now, though.
Oh, yeah. Scott said if
That
the
was a
ball went
segue
into the
for you.
stands, they played.
That was a segue. Come on, Sean.
Well, I'm sorry. No, I was reading this.
He
I'm
gave
sorry.
you a softball.
I'm out of here.
If the ball went into the stands, they played the reminder. You can keep the ball, but you have to throw the players back, all right? Would you like to bet on some arena football? Well, watching any sport is a hell of a lot more exciting when you've got a stake in the game. But regardless of why you play, you need a platform that makes it easy. At mybookie.ag, they make it easy. Now, whether you're looking to bet the NBA, the MLB, or other major events like this weekend's UFC 261, MyBookie is the best place to bet. And though odds can change, if you bet on Masvidal right now to win the fight, you'll triple your money. That's right. A $100 wager on Masvidal would net you a $300 return. If you're going to bet, there's only one place to do it, and that's MyBookie. Sign up now with the promo code Woodward to get your first deposit matched up to $1,000. That's promo code Woodward to get a free deposit bonus and start your day off with a W. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. All right, when we come back, yesterday, obviously, we talked about it on the show. Justice was served. We'll talk about it when we come back. Glad you could join us. It is a Wednesday. I believe it's still morning. It is still morning right here on Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
All right, welcome back in. So glad you can join us. It has been the strangest year, I think it's safe to say, for every single human being watching this right now. What a year. You know, I often said to my kids, as a father, I'm supposed to be able to say to them, I've seen this before, or I've seen that before. And the one thing that I told my kids very early on in COVID is I said, I'm sorry, as a parent, I'm failing you right now. I don't have anything to compare this to. There's nothing. I can't compare what we're going through right now in society to anything else. There's nothing. And of course, about a month, a couple months in to this COVID strangeness, we were unfortunately introduced to the name and the shocking video of George Floyd. And we talked about it yesterday. And I'll repeat it again. I don't think there's a human being that could watch that video and say that the officer was warranted for his actions. I don't know how anybody could do that. And Joique, to that point, as you well know, you have an officer in the family. I talked to my dad about this horrible crime, and that's what it was. It was a crime. Yeah. And it was interesting to see how sad my father got when we were talking about it. He really did. He got sad, and he said, I feel sorry for the good police officers out there. You know, because when you see something like that, I can't blame any human being for feeling angry, for feeling like.
I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
And this is a question. I want your honest opinion.
Yeah.
Do you think there can be good police officers, or do you believe there are good men that are police officers?
You know what? We had this conversation yesterday. I don't know if you were privy to it. Corey and I had this. I think we as a society, if I was to give society some advice, and here's some unsolicited advice, I think we as a society need to stop painting with a broad brush. Not all Hispanic people are this. Not all white people are that. Not all black people are that. Not all Asian people are this. Not all police officers are that. Not all this. We're very guilty of doing that. Unfortunately, there are bad apples in every bunch. There are. There are bad police officers. There are bad, this, that, or the other thing. So to answer your question, that's my long-winded way to answer the question.
Yeah.
I think there are people that should never, ever become police officers, that their DNA doesn't match what a police officer is supposed to do, and they hide behind the badge, and they decide that they can bully and be, well, criminals themselves. And that's exactly what Derek Chauvin was. What he did was criminal, period.
It's, you know, because you know how I am. I can talk about this for the rest of the show.
Sure.
I definitely can talk about how police reform needs to happen, how new training needs to be implemented, how the police was started in the first place. And so when I look at how police was started in the first place is why I say, like, how can we have good police officers when police was created to capture runaway slaves and bring them back? That's why it was started in the first place. And so do I think there's good police officers? I think there's good men who are police officers. I do believe that. My father he worked for the sheriff department. My godfather's a state trooper. Uncle worked for the Secret Service. Another uncle who worked for, who was a state trooper. And so I believe there are definitely good men. And I also think that it should be more of us policing our own communities. People that don't have fear for their life. And one thing that I noticed is that when you look at a lot of these killings of these unarmed black men, you know, list goes on, they're in fear of their life. I'll give you a perfect example. Michael Sledger killed Walter Scott because he was in fear of his life and that he was going for his taser, not knowing that he was being recorded. He never touched him. He just turned around and ran, and he put 5 to 6 bullets in that man's back, and then went back and told in his report that he was fighting for his taser and he was in fear for his life. If that was never recorded, that man gets away with that, because at that point it's just he say. It's not what she say, because that person's dead now. And so now all we have is to go off of his word, this officer's word. And when you work for the law, more than likely they're going to take your side. And so a lot of stuff like this happens, and this is just what we see. This is just what we see. This happens more often than not here in America.
Is that a problem with the profession, or is that a problem with the individual?
That's the individual.
That's the way I look at it.
That's the individual, but we always talk about these bad apples. Well, where are the good apples? Where are they? Lots of them.
I think there are lots of good police officers.
Right. So why are we not seeing them step up in these certain times where they know? Like, it was 4 officers on the scene when Derek Chauvin killed that man George Floyd. When he killed, it was 3 other officers. You had one protecting him, and you had 2, one on his back, one on his legs. Why do you feel you have to put your knee in that man's neck?
I have no idea.
And if those other officers are good officers, why aren't they saying, no, we don't need to, like, we got him?
You know what's interesting about it? What's interesting about it to me, Joique, is every time I watch that video, I kid you not, I had the feeling yesterday as well. You wish you were standing there to say, you know, officer, dude, knock it off.
But they were,
you know, and that's the crazy thing about it.
And the way he was looking into the camera, like, I know what I'm doing. And you look at him with his hands in his pocket, which I later found out that that's the way that you can apply more pressure to his neck, by putting your hand in your pocket and then pushing down in your pocket to apply more pressure. And the guy's telling you, I can't breathe, and you still, it's.
What do you say to the comments? There's YouTube comments. One that kind of caught me off guard. I didn't realize this, that there might be an appeal, and justice hasn't been served yet, because there could be an appeal.
he was convicted, he was charged, and everybody's so happy. I don't care about that.
Right.
I want to see the sentence. That's what I want to see.
Which the sentencing isn't happening anytime soon. I mean, there's a delay with that too. My question is
2 weeks?
Yeah,
I heard it was 8.
It's 8. Yeah. Here's the other comment that I see a lot, and I wanted Joique to give his take on it. What do you say to the people that just say, "Oh, well, just don't disobey the law"? Because that to me is
that's stupid.
Right.
Shut up. Obey the law. Shut up. I've seen a white man fight 2 sheriffs, take their batons, beat them with it, and then get in their car and then drive off. And I see a man just running, and you shoot. Philando Castile told the officer he had his license to carry. Went to reach to give him this ID, and he got shot. Is that not obeying the law? Huh? And the people that come in these comments is just shut up, man. That's warranted to have. A girl from Columbus, Ohio, called the police as 2 girls came to her house to fight her. She had a knife in her hand to protect herself, and the officers got there and shot her. And then put out there to the media the footage of her having a knife, but not telling the whole story. The story was these girls came to jump this girl, and she was trying to defend herself on her own property. And you pull up and you shoot this girl.
Breonna Taylor's another example. She was sleeping.
A guy sitting in his apartment. Officer walks into the wrong apartment, shoots him. Is that not obeying the law? Shut up. And this is just ignorant. Like, people are just ignorant, and the people who can sit here and say that, they have no empathy. They have no empathy, and it's that type of attitude that puts us in this predicament that we're in now.
It's interesting. Can I go back to the? I'm going to go back to the appeal. This is just one man's opinion. I remember they asked about the appeal if you were watching the thing yesterday.
Sean, I'm sorry.
Do you know what Derek Chauvin looked like to me? He looked like a guy that knew he was screwed. That he had to.
He knew he was screwed when his officers were coming in and saying, like, his officers turned on him.
Yeah. Well,
it's blue curtain. You don't never.
Just one man's opinion. This is an opinion. I don't know this to be true. I have a feeling this isn't going to be appealed. I have a feeling that this is somebody that's probably going to get in the vicinity of, what's the sentencing guidelines, if I'm not mistaken? It's 12 to 48 years.
It's, I think, 75 for the 3
like
charges.
40 for 125.
But here's my question: will he just get protective custody? I mean, that to me, like, I've heard these comments a lot that in prison, child molesters and cops do not fare well. And I feel like if you're going to commit a crime of murdering someone, you don't deserve protective custody. I'm sorry, you don't.
Yeah, I think people who do crime against women and children and cops going to jail. But just to revert back, while this trial is going on, you have another Minneapolis officer kill another black boy in the car, and mistake a gun for a taser. How do you mistake? The taser is on your weak side. It's on your weak. So you know the difference in the weight. It's yellow. It's not even black, and you shot him by mistake, and then you say, "Oh, I shot him on a body cam by mistake." What type of training are you guys getting?
Well, and that's why I'm glad that you bring that up. I think what we have to do, instead of painting with a broad brush, is we have to look at each individual episode. Because you know what? This just in, sometimes there is justified use of force. Sometimes an officer has no recourse but to have justified use of force. And that's why, again, I caution people, and this is something we as a society have to get better at. I'm not going to take out my paintbrush and I'm not going to paint every one of these incidents as happened is guilty. And what you're doing, Joique, I appreciate, because you have to bring up each incident. And you know what? More often than not, hey, listen, the officer was in the wrong. And that's what we have to do. But that's how our justice system works. And we have to pray. We have to pray that the events of yesterday are carried out in these other cases as well. We have. I mean, that's all we can hope for, is that justice is served.
Sean, this shit gets tiring.
Absolutely.
You know,
it's disgusting.
It's emotional. It's, just imagine, in who was that? Was Kuzma? He said something interesting, that when are we going to start having gun reform or police reform, and I'm paraphrasing, and that what is it going to take for African Americans to form their own militias to protect themselves? Because we've seen it in the 60s with the Black Panthers. We've seen it back then. But when we do that to protect ourselves, right, we get painted as mobs, and now we're America's most wanted. We're America's most wanted. I remember I would hear growing up that America's biggest threat is the progress of a black man. I would always hear that growing up. Not always, but through certain people. And I never really understood. And then now I look back and I see, like, they're trying to exterminate, like, we're getting exterminated. Like, we truly are. I mean, what else are you seeing here? I don't know what else to call it. Like, a guy's selling loose cigarettes. A guy's selling CDs. And these guys are getting killed outside of the apartment, outside many stores and businesses because they selling loose cigarettes and CDs. Is that warranted? When I see a white man fighting two officers in a restaurant, just knuckle to knuckle, why can you 3 times bigger than the other guys? I'm like, I don't understand. You in fear for your life with us, but you're not in fear for your life with this 300-pound white man that you're fighting with. You can de-escalate issues differently, and it's like it's weird. What's up, artist?
Do you think that, and someone commented this, that traffic stops by armed police officers are the problem? If you're speeding, if you're not wearing your seatbelt, why does a gun?
I got pulled over. Listen, I got pulled over driving from New Orleans to Houston to visit my sisters, and they pulled me over because I had headphones on. They drove up on the side of my car, just looked at my car, pulled me over. They checked my ID. At that time, I was playing for New Orleans. They asked me where was I going. I said, I'm going to go visit my sister. They said that you're not allowed to wear headphones when you're driving. And I said, okay, all right. And they said, well, what do you do? I'm like, well, why does that matter? But I said, I play football. Oh, who you play for? I play for the Saints. No, you don't. So we go back and forth. I was saying, and they let me go. And I didn't even get on the highway for another 2 or 3 minutes. They had another black guy pulled over right in front of me, and he was getting out of the car. This is what happened. I got pulled over in Grosse Pointe for my music. My music volume goes up to 32. I had it at 15, but I had my windows down in my Range Rover, and he pulls me over. Didn't know who I was. Treated me like garbage. And then another officer pulls up, walks up to the car, and he knew who I was. He said, that's Joique Bill. Let him go. He said, who? He said, that's Joique. Let him go. Give him his ID back. But what? So you telling me if I wasn't Joique Bell,
how would Sean Baligian?
Yeah. How would this have happened?
Yeah.
Well, how would this have played out? I got pulled over on the highway because some state troopers wanted to take some pictures with me, and it made me stay there until this other officer came. Bro, I'm telling you the truth. I got pictures. I have that video. I'll get it to you. It's weird, but like this is what's going on. He pulled me over for whatever reason. I don't know why he pulled me over for, but he asked me if I can stay there until his other partner came. He was a big fan.
They made you wait so you could take pictures with other officers.
Well, another state trooper, yeah. It was cool though. I mean, it was. They were cool, I think I was speeding. I think I might have been going 80 and 70, so they didn't give me a ticket. So I was cool with that. It was good guys.
That's
so.
the tax you pay in that
Yeah.
regard.
But that's the thing.
I pay that tax. I pay that tax.
I respect Joique though for saying, "What if I wasn't Joique Bell?"
Yeah. Whatever. Why wasn't me?
What if you weren't driving? You know, and I know I joke about it all the time with the Tesla thing, but what if you weren't driving a Tesla? What if you were driving a car that was beat up and everything? It's perception for an officer to automatically.
You understand. That's a bigger target when you're in a nice car and your windows down. Yeah. And they see like, what did he do? They look for any reason. I got pulled over because it was snowing outside. It was a snowstorm, and I've been riding 94 for 15 years now, right? And so they pulled me over because it's a snowstorm, and I'm going 65, and he pulls me over and tells me that I'm going too fast for the conditions. I said, is that a law? I said, is that the law? That if it's snowing outside, you got to go below the speed limit? That's why he pulled me over, Sean. I'm telling you, it's crazy how we just have like these two justice systems where, you know, one person can do one thing, a white person can do one thing, a black person can do the same thing, and they get different time.
I have a story for you in that regard. I told this yesterday, and I was pulled over in 1989 in the city that I now live in. And I'm telling you, I know exactly why I was pulled over. I was driving in a nice city in a shitty car. That was my crime. I'm telling you right now, that's why I was pulled over. And he pulled me over. Sorry if I'm boring you guys, if you guys didn't hear this story yesterday. And he pulled me over, and you know, being the son of a police officer, I always be polite. And I said, "What's a problem, officer?" And he told me to shut the bleep up. Okay, this is how it's going to be. License and registration. Handed him my license and registration, and I said, "Officer, may I ask you a question?" Shut the bleep up. Okay. Then finally, I started to get a little agitated, and I said, "Sir, did I do something wrong? Did I?" And he leaned in the car. I'll never forget this. And he gave me this look like he was shooting lasers at me. And he goes, "If you were my kid, I'd beat the piss out of you." He didn't use those words. And he goes, "I'd cut your hair." So my hair was down to there. So at that point in time, I'm like, okay, just shut up. Just don't say anything. And he did it again. He goes, "Man, I would love to beat the piss out of you." And this was the punk in me. I literally looked at him and I said, "Sir, if you'd like to take your holster off and put your club in the car, we can walk in the woods back there and maybe we could work something out like that." And he goes, "Oh, you're one of them, right? You're one." And I go, "Sorry, I'm still trying to figure out what the hell I did wrong, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that you're going to beat the piss out of me, you know, and all that." Well, it was funny. I drove back home. We were living in Livonia, and I told my dad. My dad went nuts. I mean, he went nuts. And he looked at me and he said, "Are you telling me that's exactly how it happened?" And I said, "Dad, word for word." And he goes, "You're an asshole for saying what you said." And I said, "Dad, like, I wanted to cry. I felt humiliated. I did. I'll never forget it. I wanted, like, and so to hear you say some of that, what human being wants to have their dignity pissed on? What did I do? What are you doing to me? And so my dad went back there, and my dad had rank. He was a sergeant, and he caused some shit. And it was interesting because then the officer called me the next day and apologized and said he was having a bad day and everything. And I said, "No big deal." But I'll never forget that because you know what, Joique? I can't relate to what it's like to be a black man. And I'm not gonna even pretend, but I can relate. I felt helpless. It was because I was going, what did I do? What? If you could tell me what I did, I'd better I wasn't speeding. He wrote me a shitload of tickets, so it was funny. Now none of them stuck. But I think it's because of my mouth. He was like, "Oh yeah, I'll show that guy." And all I did was say, I said, "If you want to take off your holster and your billy club, we can walk in the woods and we can work something out." Because it was just like, push. I'm going to push you, and you're not supposed to say anything back. And would I react that way today? No. But I was a 19-year-old punk who, you know. So it's sad when I hear stories like that and hear your perspective. No, Joique, listen. I can't relate. All I can do is listen.
Sean, you don't understand.
I'm trying to.
This is probably the closest one to when the officer had the gun to my head. So I was turning into my street when I stayed downtown Detroit. I was pulling, and the cop pulled me over, so I pulled into my parking lot. pulled over, turned the car off, and he walks up. He said, "Take the keys out the ignition." I said, "The car's in park," but okay. I took it out the ignition, asked me for my license registration, and I said, "Why am I being pulled over for?" And he wouldn't tell me. Luckily, I had the chief of police number in my phone, so I called the chief of police, and he knew what I was trying to do, I guess. And so he told me to keep my both hands on the steering wheel when he walked back to the car. Like, why do I have to keep my hands on the steering wheel when you walk back to the car? And so he got out the car, and I'm like, what's going on? And he had his gun drawn. And was right here on my head with the gun. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then his partner is right here. And his partner's like, I guess he walks away after drawing his gun on me. And I told him I had my gun on me as well, and I had my CPL with me, and I told him. And so he took my gun and he took my CPL, and his partner said, he's like, just be calm. I don't know why he's acting like this. I'm like, well, why are you telling me this? Go tell him that.
I couldn't agree
more.
more.
These are so the good cops are riding around with the high rank cops, and they don't want to tell these high ranks that's bullcrap what you just did, because they don't want to get demoted, or they don't want to get they don't want to get a bad rap, and so they sit back and they shut up. But where are these good cops at? When you see these situations where these people get shot, do you ever see another cop step in and say, whoa, no?
You know why we don't hear about them? Because that probably de-escalated the situation. It probably happens every day. I think can we think logically that there are probably incidents that we don't hear about, Joique, that we don't hear about, that you know why we don't hear about them? What? Because maybe you're my partner and I'm having a bad day and I'm in a pissed off mood, and you pull me aside and you go, "Hey, Sean, come here. Hold on a second, Officer Bell. No, Officer Baligian, I need you to come over here right now. Dude, chill the bleep out." You know what I mean? I hope that's the case. I think it's safe to say that probably happens, but unfortunately, we hear about the bad incidents, and that's the unfortunate thing. Hey, let me tell you about our friends at 8 Mile Vodka. George and everybody over at 8 Mile Vodka have poured a lot, no pun intended, into making this the best vodka you've ever had. 8 Mile Vodka, born in Detroit, is distilled in single 90-liter batches to allow for optimal quality control and care, then carbon filtered, aerated, and bottled at the perfect time to produce a subtle taste with smooth finish and a character all its own. This is an exceptional premium vodka that can be chilled and enjoyed straight or mixed to create an exceptional vodka. I say this every time. My wife, my son love the Moscow Mule with 8 Mile Vodka. You will as well. Next time you're out, ask your bartender for an 8 Mile Vodka or pick up a bottle at Meijer. And as always, please drink responsibly. I cannot believe the draft is 8 days away. I mean, how'd that happen? It's crazy. Unfortunately, the last few weeks, Scott Bischoff and I haven't been able to get together. Let me run down the reasons why. I was in Florida. I had COVID. My father passed away. So we haven't been able to do a draft show in now 4 weeks, but Scott is going to be in tomorrow. Programming note, Scott's going to be in tomorrow. He's going to sit in with Joique and I at noon tomorrow, and then we're going to do another edition of the draft show. When we come back, let's talk some draft. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10.5 months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
All right, welcome back in. You know what? See, now we have to have this conversation because Art and I were talking about this before the show started. So this COVID thing, thankfully, as we were talking about, it just didn't hit me hard. There's no other way to say that. Art, unfortunately, I know it hit you hard, and I'm glad you're better, buddy. And Joique, I know you were down a couple days, but the crazy thing about this COVID thing. Sorry to go in a different direction, but a lot of times we have conversation, and maybe if some of you have COVID, you can relate. I have felt wonderful for a couple weeks. Really, I have felt wonderful. But there's two things that have kind of stuck. Well, now three things after talking to Joique. Right. Number one, I pass out at night. All right. And when I say pass out, I'm not joking. At about 10 o'clock last night, I'm sitting at home like this. I'm never that guy. I am not that guy. Anybody that knows me knows I'm used to 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. I'm good. I hit a wall at night. And I have to, Joique, as I told you, I have to physically make myself sit up at the computer to kind of finish my prep for the next day and everything. That's one. Number two, I have not had an appetite until yesterday. It has been 4 weeks.
And when it hit you, don't it?
And when it hit me yesterday, it hit me. Oh, did I eat yesterday? It felt wonderful. And then I had to visit the bathroom about an hour later.
What'd you have? What'd you eat?
I had a big giant, and when I say a big giant plate of nachos, there's this little Mexican place near me. My daughter was in the mood. I had a big plate of nachos, and then I had the tray tacos, where, do the math, 3. Destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. Even helped my daughter finish.
Didn't have a chance.
Didn't have a chance. You know what? If you could have bet on my bookie, I would put a lot of money on me. I was going to destroy that thing.
Do you have your appetite back yet?
Yeah. So yesterday.
All right, that's good.
Everything.
Hey,
Thank you.
Sean.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So
why would you ask me for my opinion?
Hold up. So
tell
Scott,
everybody about the water. That's it. Tell everybody about the water.
What?
That's why I brought up the whole COVID thing. Like you were talking about how it dehydrated your body.
Oh yeah, so I can tell when I'm dehydrated because I drink a lot of water, and I might go a day or two where I might cut back probably on the, consumption of probably half of what I usually drink. And so when I do that for a certain period of time, when I start back drinking water, I go to the bathroom a lot, and so I can tell when I get hydrated because my body will start holding water better. And so I'm at the point now I'm going to the bathroom every 20 minutes because I'm trying to overhydrate now from the trip from flying. Because one thing I didn't know until I started playing was that when you fly, it can dehydrate you. And so I'm still trying to rehydrate from the trip. So.
Now, it's interesting. I want to point something out. Steve said, I have a coworker who is too tired to even eat, and he's diabetic. COVID isn't a joke, and it's odd that it hits everyone differently. I have been very outspoken, will continue to be, about how our governor botched this, because she did, and you can't deny it anymore. That's not political. I'm speaking factually. But at no point in time did I ever downplay COVID. Even as somebody that it didn't hit me hard, thank the Lord, this is something serious. Period. End of story. And you know what? Be smart. Wear your mask. Social distance. Wash your hands. Do all of those things. But I've never felt something like this, where even with it not hitting me hard, I still feel things a few weeks later. I still get tired. I still foggy. If you had the fog, my brain gets foggy. I've never experienced anything like this. It's weird.
Yeah.
Having COVID made it worse.
Before go ahead.
So what was you eating again, Art? You got your appetite back?
Oh, let's move on. Yeah, okay.
Can we go to the aquarium very quickly before we talk some draft? There he is. Hi, Fish.
Hello, everybody. We have a caller today.
Have a caller?
There we go. All right, we have a caller. We have Carlos, who's going to talk about the police and how they do not have mental training.
Los, what up, though?
What's up, Carlos?
You guys, I'm watching you guys because it's snowing out. Can you believe it?
It's insane.
So I'm watching you guys, and Joique, or you asked Joique, do you think it's a problem with the profession or the person? And, to be honest with you, dude, I don't think that we've had an honest discussion in this country about the profession. You know, you're like me and you and Sean and all of the people watching. We get up every single day and we say to ourselves, we're going to have a great day. We're going to go out into the world and we're going to chase our happiness. A policeman's job is to get up every single day and interact with people's worst days every single day, right? These guys get training. They get less training than a dude in an HVAC who's studying to be an HVAC tech. All right. And then you turn them out in the street, and these are human beings we're talking about, right? So they go out every single day and they deal with this, and you can't say, well, there's no budget for that. That's why the whole defund the police is not crazy, because they can buy tanks and weapons and nice rifles and black cars. All of this technology, they can scan your plate from inside their car without even typing anything in. There's a computer scanning it all.
They have cameras.
You know, they got it all.
They have cameras. You know what's funny?
But they don't take care of the person. They don't say to that person, say, hey, you know what? You have a really terrible job, dude. And maybe we should give you time off, or maybe we should move you around. Maybe we should do something. But this whole thing that just because someone's going to jail, you know, that it's going to change, that's not going to make anything any different. We got to have a real serious conversation about tangible things, not this craziness about, well, just comply. You know, I hate that whole, if you just complied, things would happen that way. Yeah. Things shouldn't happen that way. And as adults, we know that. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Los. And you're right. We do have a lot of technology and a lot of money to put into technology here. For instance, I went to a place here where they have like a secret bunker, or it's like a secret security room where they have cameras set up all around the city. And when I say cameras, I'm not talking about like a regular camera that you have up in your home. They have cameras that might be on top of the Greek Town Casino. It might be on top of the gym building. They might be installing some in the new Hudson site. But basically what you can see is these cameras can do a 3D image of your face from 14 miles away. Like from 14 miles away. So we have that type of technology or that type of money to put into that type of technology, but we don't have the funds to get our policemen like the proper training. And that's where we're kind of falling behind. Like we're so behind the curve than other countries. Like other countries are looking at us and are laughing at the way we train our policemen, by the way we run our judicial system. It's sickening. And I was telling Sean earlier, it's almost as if we have two different justice systems, where you can see the exact same crime with the exact same everything except for the color of the skin, and this person gets this time and this person gets probation. Like it's crazy, all right? And that's just the way it's been set up. And like you said, that even with him getting time, it's not going to change anything, but it's a step in the right direction.
Absolutely.
It's definitely a step in the right direction. Now, him getting convicted and him being charged, or him being charged and being convicted is good. But now I want to sit back. Now I want to see the sentencing. That's what I want to see. I was very encouraged when I saw they denied his bail as well. You don't need to be out there in the streets.
Well, what's interesting about it is, to Carlos' point, is, you know what? Will that be a detractor for officers to maybe stop and think, hey, I don't want to be the next Derek Chauvin. I don't want to be the next, whoever the case may be.
You say that, Sean, and then this happens.
Well, and you know what you have to do? You have to let them know it's just like a criminal. If you do this, you are going to be punished.
Yeah.
You are going to be treated as a criminal because your activities were criminal.
But like Lo said, it's all about their training isn't enough for a woman that's been on the force for 26 years to say she made a mistake and shot a guy because she thought her gun was her taser. What?
I am all for doing. I think there's a big difference, though. I saw Scott make this comment on Facebook. I think there's a big difference between a horrible, tragic mistake and malice. Okay, you should be held accountable for your actions, both of them. Okay, George, I almost called him George Chauvin. Officer Chauvin is a criminal. That's malice. That's a bad dude. Officer, I don't know her name, made a horrible mistake. Now, that doesn't mean that she shouldn't be held accountable for her mistake, but wouldn't you agree that there's a difference between those two?
You see the irony? You make that mistake with a black man, but you never make that mistake with a white person.
I don't know the truth to that. I mean, for all I know,
I'm just saying.
All I know, there could have been 50 mistakes like that with a white person. I don't know. I have no idea.
I don't know. I'm just saying with this specific officer, I don't know. In Minneapolis, come on, you see what you guys are going through. You see what's happening. You see the temperature in the country right now. And you mean to tell me this is how you want to decide to deal with these situations, these traffic stops? And then they have these thing called gateway stops, to where they just find anything wrong just to pull you over so they can find something bigger. Yeah. Oh, you didn't put on your signal when you switched lanes. Can I see your license and registration, please? You have anything in there? You don't have a gun or anything, right? All right. And these gateway stops. What's up, Fish?
I got Kevin calling from Muskegon, just talk about the whole situation.
Art, is it cool to take this call before we go to break? All right, let's go to Kevin hanging on the line. Kevin, appreciate you. Thanks for calling in. You're on with Baligian and Bell. How are you, bud?
Hey, what's happening, fellas?
What up, Kev?
How you doing, buddy?
Joique, when you said other countries are laughing at us, what countries are you talking about in particular? Because a lot of countries around the world, their cops are real crooked. And I mean,
yeah, what country are you talking about? Because when I say that, we can talk about training. Like, how long do we do training here?
No, absolutely.
That's what I'm talking about. You go to certain countries. Let's say England. They go through, I believe, 3 times as much training as we do before they're put out there into the street versus what we have here. And this is with lethal. This is lethal force we use here. They don't use that type of force in certain countries. And so that's what I'm talking about. And you absolutely right. And you absolutely right. With other countries, some cops are crooked. I know some countries where the cops, they become cops so that they can be crooked. But
or just kill you.
Yeah, but but that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm saying for us to be.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about the actual policing tactics.
No, I'm talking. Our policing tactics, the way that our policing was even started, we talked about this earlier. I don't agree with. So policing was created here for them to catch the runaway slaves and bring it back to their masters. That's how the policing was started, and then it transformed. We're all equal, but we're all not equal, and like I said, it's 2 justice systems here. It's all not the same.
We still have a lot to work out, but and I want to get working on it now. There's no time like the present, and I don't want to see any other people losing their lives. I don't care what color. I don't care. I don't want no one else losing their lives unless.
I appreciate that, Kev, man. Love always wins. Love always wins.
No doubt about that.
Exactly. Love always wins.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, appreciate you, Kevin.
All right, we're up against it. When we come back, we'll talk about the draft. Again, in case you're just joining us, Scott Bischoff will be with us tomorrow at noon. Then we're going to do another draft show. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports. Hi, how are you? Glad you could join us. 8 days away from the NFL draft. I am a mockaholic. I say that as much as I can because I look at mock drafts incessantly. I really do. What was I doing during the break? I was looking at a mock draft. It was a mock 3-round draft that just dropped. I do a lot of mock drafts for myself. I'm a nerd. That's okay. It takes you a while to acknowledge that in life, right? Hi, I'm Sean Baligian, and I'm a nerd. But, yeah, that's the case. So the latest mock draft that I was looking at has the Lions moving out of the 7 spot again. And this is something that we discussed yesterday. It was Peter Schrager had the Lions, and we didn't get a chance to talk to Joique much about it, but Peter Schrager had the Lions moving out of 7 and moving and doing a deal with the Arizona Cardinals, who I look at as the model for what I want the Lions to be, what the Cardinals are today, 2 years from now. You know, where we all thought that this would take a lot longer for the Cardinals are a darn good team. I want the Lions there in 2 years. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Yeah. This deal has the Lions trading with the Denver Broncos for Trey Lance. Now, I don't know what the particulars are. This is what it says. The Broncos can't just wait and hope that Lance falls to them. Therefore, they swing a trade with Detroit to get the raw but ultra-talented passer. And that means the Lions move down to number 9. And it says, after moving back, the Lions still get Jalen Waddle, who reminds new GM Brad Holmes of Brandon Cooks. The Lions get a 4th and 6th round selection in this trade. Okay, so what you're telling me is the Lions are going to flip-flop from 7 to 9 to get the Broncos their franchise quarterback, and all they're going to get is a 4th and 6th rounder out of it? That's my answer to that trade.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you you're number 1 with this, okay? That's my answer to that trade. So I want you to think of that's somebody that's throwing something against the wall, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Yesterday you have the Cardinals giving us their 1st rounder this year, plus their 1st rounder next year and a 3rd rounder. This Yahoo says the Lions are only getting a 4th and 6th rounder by allowing Denver to move up 2 spots. No, sir. I would tell Denver to go pound sand. No way, no how. We're flipping 1st rounders, and you're at least giving us your 1st rounder next year or a pretty good package of picks after that. There's no way in hell we're going to let you move up for a 4th and 6th rounder. Not happening.
Not happening. So, hold up. In that draft, in this same draft.
Crazy. Go to Hades. No.
Is that crazy?
Yes, it is crazy. You can get much more value than a 4th and 6th round pick.
I'm saying, if that's the only pick you have, would you not take that?
Would I take that deal?
No, like they're calling you up. You have 30 seconds. They're about to tell you to come up. You're on the clock. Are you not going to make that trade? Are you not going to take that deal?
If you're talking about the finality of doing that, there are 2 things.
I'm not saying this. I think I agree with you. I think we can get more. Yeah. But if that's the only deal on the table.
If it's the only deal on there's 2 things that come into play. How badly do you want the guy that you're 30 seconds away from drafting? How badly do you want that guy? Art. I have my heart set on Art. We know in 30 seconds I'm going to walk out of the war room. I'm going to walk up to a podium and saying, I am drafting Woodward Art as our 7th round pick. Yeah. If I got a phone call from the Denver Broncos under this scenario and said, whoa, hold on. What if we gave you our 4th rounder and 6th rounder to move up and we told you there was still a chance at Art. If I thought there was a legitimate chance at Art, if I thought there was no way in Hades that the Carolina Panthers would select Art at 8, under those circumstances that you set up, of course I would take a 4th and a 6th. But these deals are done long before then. And I would tell the Denver Broncos, if you want to move up, it's going to cost you a hell of a lot more than your 4th round and 6th round pick. But under the circumstances,
I would count it back, though.
Under the circumstances that last second.
What about a 3rd and 4th?
I would be more intrigued at that. Go on. Now I'm holding out, and you know what I'm going to tell you? You know what my response to that would be? you're second and third. That would be my response. What are you going to tell me?
We'll give you our third and fourth.
Best of luck to you, man. Maybe.
All right. How about this?
All right.
Sean, this is the best I can do.
All right.
This is the best I can do.
I
Sean.
better hear the word 2 in there. I better
we
hear
give
the
you
word
we give
2.
you a second round and a 5th round pick.
Yes. Later. Deal. Done.
All right.
Later.
And honestly,
wasn't that easy? We're both happy.
You know what it was though?
We're both happy.
No, I mean I'm happy because I was willing to give up a second and fourth. I was willing, but you took the second and fifth.
Okay. All I wanted to hear was the word 2. Because, you know, can I tell you why? Again, think about this. Now you're talking about the Lions having 1, 2,
no, 1,
3.
1.
No. I'm talking 3 picks in the top 40. Okay, I'm in. Cool. That's my. I don't give a shit. Damn it!
Put it in there. Swear jar.
Where's my?
Oh, you didn't even catch it. I don't care about it because I ain't getting
I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap about what it does.
It doesn't do anything. Literally, we need an investigation as to where the money goes. Because, like, there's been at least, $25-30 that's been thrown in there? Who's taking it? It ain't me.
But, Joique, to your point, I don't give a crap what it does for you. If you love Trey Lance, you draft Trey Lance. We don't feel the same way. All I'm thinking about is me, okay? So how does this help the Detroit Lions out?
So selfish.
I still get the 9th pick. I still get Art. I get that extra 2nd pick. And so now I'm thinking about it and I go.
Who wants Art? Nobody wants Art.
I draft you first round. Art.
Yeah.
I draft you
first round on the boards.
Yeah.
Plus, if there's enough lights on, you can't see me.
Easy said, wait, the 9th, 2nd, and 4th? Yes, I would make that deal. To move 2 spots down, because my assumption would be Carolina wasn't going to take one of those wide receivers. They might take Rashawn Slater, for example. I could still get my wide receiver, and I would have now 3 picks in the top 40. I'm in. You won me over. We just did business. I'm happy. You're happy. I'm happy. We win-win.
I'm not happy.
I wouldn't be either because I mean because there's
what? No. I'm happy. We get Trey Lance because I'm on the trigger Trey. I'm on the trigger Trey train.
Yeah.
And so I like Trey and he is raw, and so that's the whole point of getting him in. You got to put him with a quarterback whisperer.
There's no way in hell I do this deal for the 4th and 6th rounder though.
But
no way. Now you know my feelings too. This is the one thing that we don't know. What I don't know, what he doesn't know, what any of us don't know right now, okay? I don't know what they think of Trey Lance. I have no idea what they think of Trey Lance. I like Trey Lance. You like Trey Lance. Mm-hmm. And here's my, I keep saying this and I'm going to keep pounding this into the ground, okay? If you think that Trey Lance is all that, if you've scouted him and you think that, forget being the number 2 quarterback in this draft, we think he's better than Trevor Lawrence, then shame on you for not drafting him. Draft him. And I don't care if he sits a year. I don't care if he sits 2 years.
He can sit 3.
Thank you. Aaron Rodgers, hello.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean,
thank you.
It's so stupid to me. Why people are so short-sighted.
Speaking of Aaron Rodgers, have you caught him on? Have you caught him on Jeopardy?
Yeah, I did. I thought he
did
a pretty damn good job.
He did a great. I mean, he blasted Mr. Was it Mr. Wonderful?
Yeah, I think he did a pretty damn good job.
I tell you about these football players, man. We're competitive in everything. Now he's trying to be the host of Jeopardy now.
Yeah, we talked about that, but you were on vacation.
Yeah, I was working.
Next topic now.
I wasn't here though. So.
Exactly.
So I didn't get my input.
You're like my mother. You're never here.
Can I say this though? You know what? I've watched the last couple nights because I'm old and that's what my family does. You know, Anderson Cooper's done a damn good job.
He's snooty though. He's
incredibly snooty. But you know what? I think you need a little bit of that snoot.
You need that. You need it. What's up? What's up, Fish?
Hi, Fish.
Aaron Rodgers was terrible. What are you talking about?
Fish.
Aaron Rodgers was good.
You didn't like Aaron? I thought Aaron
hated
did a good
him.
job.
On what?
Hey, Scott.
He was smug.
Let's see what question you answered. Oh, you didn't get the question right. I don't want a person who's going to talk like that.
Aaron Rodgers did a
Joique
great
Bell,
job.
Did you get the question
I
right?
Did a good job. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. He did a great job. Everybody
Sean,
liked
did you get the question
Everybody liked
right?
it, but you. Everyone liked it.
I didn't like him. I'm right with you, Fish.
It don't matter. You like the weekend. Shut up. You like the weekend performance. Be quiet.
He's still on about that. That was in February.
Yeah. No, they just showed me your taste. So,
do you guys have? Is there somebody that you've fallen in love with that you are sitting there saying we have to work under the assumption that the Lions are going to stay at 7? Okay, we have to work under that assumption. But is there somebody that you're looking at and you're saying to yourself, we have to have this guy? And when we come back, I'll tell you, I really think the Lions would have to make a serious effort to screw this up if they stay at 7.
This is pretty
There's
funny.
only one name that they could call where I think I would take my head and I would put it through a plate glass window. There's only one name. I'll tell you who it is when we come back.
We are here, downtown Fenton, my favorite Bridge Street Exchange.
That's right. And you want to switch up your wardrobe this summer? It's this easy. You ready, Joey?
I'm ready.
All right, you ready? I like it. You want to do it again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
All right. Ooh, Brixton. Nice. One more time?
Yes.
Ooh, I like the hat on this one, too. You ready to do it one more time, Joey?
I'm getting tired. One last one.
All right, let's change it. Bro, where's your shirt? You need new clothes this summer. Bridge Street Exchange in Fenton. That's where you need to go. Thank you, guys.
Hi, how are you?
Hey.
Joique, I am a fairy right now. I am here to grant you your fondest wish at number 7. Joique, you can have whoever you want from the entire draft board at number 7. Okay? I'm not going to include Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. How's that? They are going to be gone. There's no doubt about that. But everybody else is on the board.
Everybody else?
Everybody is on the board.
Every quarterback, every
There's
receiver?
my fairy dust.
Trevor Lawrence.
Well, I'm taking Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson out. That's it. Everybody else other than Zach Wilson and Trevor Lawrence. You can have anybody you want at number 7. So let it be written, so let it be done.
I'm taking Sewell.
I can't argue with you.
I'm taking Sewell.
We've been saying on the draft show, if Penny Sewell's still on the board at 7, you don't walk up to the podium, you run up to the podium. I do not expect him to be there. I just don't.
But
I think the secret's out at how good he is.
For sure.
And Rashawn Slater wouldn't be a bad bad consolation prize. I'm going to say this again, and I know it's funny, our buddy Adam, who works here, I find myself agreeing with Adam a lot and on a lot of his sports takes. The one sports take that he said that I adamantly disagree on, and I don't know, Adam, if you're watching, if you still feel this way, but he mentioned Micah Parsons as a possibility at 7. I would take my hat off very quietly. Very quietly. I wouldn't make a big scene. I'd take my hat off very quietly. I would look for the nearest window, and I would face plant that window. I would put my face through the window if the Lions drafted Micah Parsons at number 7.
I don't think we have to worry about that, though.
I don't think. I hope.
I don't
not
think we have to worry
either.
about that.
Why on earth would you take Jared Davis 2.0, another guy that's going to come in and be a 2-down backer? Why would you do that at number 7? There's no value there. Why would you do that?
No, they're not.
And I get it, Joique. Listen, I get
this
it.
Is what they're doing this is what they're doing in the room right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go through everyone that's sitting in this room. I'm gonna go to everyone. Who would you take at first? Devontae Smith? Oh, why? Why would you take him at 7? Okay, you like Jamar Chase? Why? Why do you want to get him at 7?
Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
Best receiver in.
And there's Kyle Pitts. You like him?
I do like him a lot.
I love him.
I love him.
Would you take him over
Jamar Chase?
No,
Absolutely.
No, Sewell.
Over Sewell?
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm. Can I tell you why? There is wide receiver value later on. We see each and every year. People are so short-sighted in that regard that if you're talking about the best option, and there's undoubtedly Penny Sewell is the best option, I'll worry about fitting my line in later. You know better than anybody. You have to build in the National Football League.
You have to draft talent. You have to draft talent.
I love the idea of having Taylor Decker, Frank Ragnow. We can wait and see what Josh Jackson is now at this point in time. And then you add Sewell to that mix. Holy mother of the Lord, I'm happy. I am smiling like the butcher's dog at that point in time. Yes, 1,000 times yes. And by the way, if you love Kyle Pitts, who gives a crap? Right. The Lions took another tight end. If you're that big of a dumbass, don't worry about the dumbasses out there. You worry about helping your team.
Hey, put $1 in.
I can say dumbass. That doesn't count.
Is
dumbass a swear word,
yes,
Chad?
It is.
Chad said, you argue with the boss.
Chad, would your daughter say that in front of you? It's a swear word. Put $2 in there. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
All right, we're up against it. Hey, I'll tell you what. The PGA, for those of you that follow, PGA is making money. They're doing some good things with their money, both away from the course and on the course. We'll tell you about it when we come back. So glad you could join us. It's a Wednesday morning. Yeah. He's Joique Bell. Afternoon. He's Joique Bell. I'm Sean Baligian. This is Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. And at Hall Financial, we treat our clients like family. And our number one priority is giving each of our clients 5-star service. Our passion for 5-star service, combined with our expertise, allows us to find the best possible solution for refinancing your home loan. We take the time to focus on both the individual and the numbers. We're going to walk you through the process and close your loan in half the time of our competition. Go to davidhallmortgage.com today.
See, this is what I'm talking about. We're 8 days before the draft, and people can't talk enough about the draft. No. We were all in here talking about the draft during this break, and the belief is that the Lions are going to move out of that spot. Let me say this. The amount of times that we talk about a team moving and the amount of times a team actually moves are two different things. But honestly, if there was ever a year it could happen, you have the Cowboys as a potential dance partner. You have the Cardinals as a potential dance partner. You have the Denver Broncos as a potential dance partner. And don't think for a second that Bill Belichick isn't sitting up there in Foxborough right now saying to himself, I need a quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, I might have to call the Lions and offer. You know, Mr. Animation himself, I might have to call the Lions and offer them our first-round pick, and gosh damn it, what kind of draft capital is it going to cost me? At which point in time, we do our debate again, and I say to you, Mr. Belichick, it's going to cost you a lot, sir. If you're that serious about taking this guy as your quarterback of the future, the next Tom Brady, you bet it's going to cost you. Right? That's where my brain's at.
You know where his brain is at? Well, I got Tom Brady in the 6th round. I got Tom Brady. I don't have to go grab a quarterback right now. I can grab a quarterback later on. It's a quarterback I see that nobody else sees right now.
You called me.
Huh?
Let me remind you. Huh? You called Mr. Belichick. You can sit here and rest on your past laurels all you want. But I want to remind you, you called me. What does that have to do with me?
I'm telling you right now.
I'm
got
hanging
a 4th
up
round.
on Belichick.
I got a 4th.
Time.
I have a 4th and 5th round pick for you. That's all I got a 4th and 5th round.
Go to
pick
hell.
For
Take care. Best of luck. Best of luck.
All right.
Go find your next Jimmy Garoppolo.
And then I'm sitting back, and I'm using time as my bargaining tool. I'm just sit back and I'm gonna use time. I'm gonna sit back. You'll call me back. You'll call me back.
Not for that. For that? No way.
But you'll call us back. You'll call us back.
You know what I would do?
You'll call back. You'll say, well, you know what? We can't do a 4th and 5th.
You know
but be willing to do a 2nd and 4th.
Can I tell you the first thing I'd do? What? I would have my underling, Art. I would have my underling, Art. I'd say, Art, do you know guys around the league? Yeah, I know a few guys. Art, can you throw out some rumors? Will you throw out some rumors? I want you to contact who do you know? Who do you know with Denver? Oh, I know Chad Johnson. He's a good dude. All right, can you send Chad a text and go, Chad, can you believe this crap? We're this close to trading our pick to the New England Patriots. Lie. Art, I'll fire you if you don't lie. You are sending Chad a text, and you are going to lie through your teeth, and you are going to tell Chad that Joique just offered me a 2nd and 3rd, and you think it's bullshit. At that point in time, that's when I'm. And you're going. I can't text Chad and lie.
$2 more.
Art, put a 20 spot in there.
Art,
You gotta put, yeah.
you are going to text Chad and you're going to lie to Chad. And then at that point in time, if Chad's serious, if Chad loves Trey Lance, you know what Chad's going to do? All right, I'll do better than a second and third. I'll give you our first next year.
I told you a 4th and 5th.
Well, but I lied to him. Because I'm trying to up him up. So instead of
And
starting
so-
at 4th and 5th,
and so-
I'm going to have Chad start up here with a second and
Oh,
the
yeah.
third.
Do you know we're going to start? Hey, Fish. You cool with the guys over in Miami? You cool with the guys over in St. Are you? Are you cool with the guys in LA? Are you cool with some people over there?
Sure, I'm fine with it.
You fine with?
Well, you know you
Are you cool with the Bears? Are you cool with the Bears?
That's a good option.
Bears.
Are you cool with the
Lie
Bears?
to the Bears. Lie to the Bears.
Call the Bears.
Hey, fun fact, Sean. You know the chairs that Chad Johnson is sitting in?
Yeah.
You want to know what they came with on it?
What?
Bears and Bulls logos.
Okay. All right. So, you know what? I would love nothing more than to violate the Bears. Are you kidding me? At that point in time, absolutely, positively. Then
we just offered this for a 4th and 5th round. It's not a 2nd and 3rd. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Later. See you later.
We're
Good
not
luck.
doing that. But you're gonna call me back, Sean.
You're
gonna call me back. You're calling me back, Sean. Listen.
No, sir.
We're not doing a 4th and 5th round.
No, sir.
But if you guys can do a 2nd and 4th, we can talk.
Where am I moving to? Am I moving only 2 spots down?
Yeah, you just moving to the pick.
Yeah,
right.
Hey,
Exactly.
If you
you're
include
calling me,
if you
calling
include the
me.
word.
Listen, you're calling me back. You're asking me for a 2nd and 4th. Are you gonna get it? No. You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna get that from me. But what you will get, I'll give you a 3rd and a 4th.
No, not doing it.
I give you a 2nd round. I give you a 4th round this year and 2nd round next year. Would you take that?
Reverse it.
No, that's what it is. You get a 4th round.
Let me get back to you.
You get a 4th round this year.
I'm going to get back
and
to you.
And a 2nd round
you
next
better
year.
give me 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, I'm having Art and Fish and Joe.
Listen,
they are making every call to every team in the general vicinity that might be interested in moving
you're dealing
up to
with the Patriots. They're not giving you 10. They'll tell you they give you 10 minutes, but you only got about 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, you lived that.
I lived it.
Yeah,
They'll tell you they give you 10 minutes, but you really only got 2.
Hey, did you guys see that the PGA is going to be giving $41 million in annual bonuses based on their likability, fan engagement, and bonuses regardless of personality. $40 million in annual bonuses to its players. A PGA Tour spokesman confirmed to Golf Week that the Player Impact Program began on January 1st to, quote, recognize and reward players who positively move the needle. At the end of the year, a pool of $40 million will be distributed amongst 10 players, with the player deemed most valuable receiving $8 million.
You want to know why?
Hey, hold up. Raise your hand, Art.
I did raise my hand.
No, I didn't call on you, though. So, real quick, we said $40 million. That's
Yes.
a lot of finances. How about I told you guys about Hard Financial?
Oh, boy.
When is the last time you checked your interest rates? If it's over 3%, then you need to give a call to Hall Financial for a 5-minute mortgage checkup and tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Hall Financial is fast and they do all the heavy lifting for you, so go to davidhallmortgage.com now and get started. Hall Financial, lower payments, better options, and more personal attention. The Joique Bell
Exchange downtown Fenton. I'm trying to find me a shirt. Ooh, look at these swimming shorts. What are you doing over there, Stick?
I'm trying to find me a drink. Ooh, look at these bonfire bitters.
Ready for summer.
Let's go.
Well, what up, though, Art? Appreciate you cutting off my...
Thanks for springing that on me out of nowhere. Hey, we're just going to do a live read randomly.
Had to get it in. We got 6 minutes
it's like,
left.
Whose line is it anyway? The rules don't matter. Jesus.
Can I tell you something about
At
the
least
PGA?
I started to read. What's up, Fish?
You're trying to kill everyone in here, Joique. You're stressing Art out. I'm trying to train someone in here. What are you trying to do here?
Fish, shut up.
Come on, man.
Hey, do your jobs. I do mine.
Let me tell
What's
you
up?
something about the PGA. Like what people don't understand. I've been fortunate the last couple of years to do a golf show. The PGA gives back as much than anybody. You wouldn't believe how much the PGA gives back. It really is truly amazing, and they do it all without fanfare. And I think everybody knows in this area we're very blessed to have the Rocket Mortgage Classic here over at Detroit Golf Club, and I mean the amount of things that are coming back in the community. It's awesome. So the PGA is a very, I don't think people understand this, how absolutely positively lucrative that is. Now, here's the interesting thing about it. How do you gauge likability and fan engagement? How do you measure that?
Is that social media?
Yes.
Social media?
Yeah, but how do you measure that? How do you
because
quantify
golf
that?
isn't appealing to the younger demos. So they're like, hey, here's 40 million.
No, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, but what he's saying is, how do you identify these particular people?
Instagram likes, Facebook comments.
Let me explain this to you though. Okay, Joique has like 100,000 like followers or whatever. I have 11,000 followers. Okay. Like everybody else around here has like maybe 1,000, 2,000 or something, but you can't put a price tag on the amount of stuff that you put out there or Nick Leach puts out there, right? Guys on staff, you can't put a price tag on that. So that's the point that I'm saying. Well, if somebody is going to follow the guys that quote unquote are known, well, what about the guy who's putting hundreds of hours of content out there?
Could you imagine if the PGA does it to where you have to
It
use
doesn't matter how much content. It doesn't matter how much content you put out there. It's about who's watching that content.
Absolutely.
No, but hear me out. If they're trying to sell merch and viewership, imagine if they attach promo codes to golfers. Like, use the promo code, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then you get a bonus based off of the sales that you make off of merch. I mean, that's the only way that I could see it working, because Facebook likes and Instagram likes
they
are
just
great.
go, but I don't like that, because what happened? They go and they buy it from your page, but they don't use the promo code.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. There's no way to gauge likeness on social media in the sense of paying you a bonus for it unless you already have that following.
No, but and to that point, I'll reiterate. I'll use the example of what we're doing here. We're all trying to be active on here. You want to come into the inner sanctum? I'm gonna invite you in. Come into my bosom, okay? You know what happens before our shows now? We have a group text, right? I mean, pretty much everybody from Woodward's on there. And somebody, the producer, Stick, whoever, Art, somebody will say, hey, guys, time to tweet out and say that we're on the air. The hook's coming on. So, if I'm sitting at home this afternoon, I guarantee you what's going to happen. It'll be, 2:59, I'll get a text. Hey, retweet. So you know what? Just go to Twitter. I retweet that the hook's on the air. I retweet that, Morning Wood's on the air, whatever the case may be. And you know what? It's helping to get the word out there. But to my point, Art, more people are going to see a post that Joique put out or I put out, right? Nick, you can't put a price tag on the amount of good content that he's put out there under the Woodward Sports Network banner and everything. So how do you quantify that?
Well, because, when you look at the impact, for instance, that Tiger had on the world of golf, he brought in viewers like me that normally wouldn't watch, but it's Tiger Woods. They're trying to recreate that.
When did Tiger Woods become Tiger Woods to you, though? What?
When he came back. That was when it was like, wow, holy shit, he's back, and I watched. So the PGA is going to look at who is getting the most viewership and why, and then they pay bonuses based on that. I don't know how they determine that algorithm, though. That's the most impossible. Like, how do you determine who's watching because of who? Now, if it's Tiger Woods, everybody's watching because it's Tiger Woods. But who's going to be the next Tiger Woods in the PGA to get young viewers to watch? That's why I think they're doing the bonuses.
Well, again, so let me use it this way. So you could have somebody who's infinitely less popular than Tiger Woods, who's out there doing 10 times more than Tiger Woods is. But because Tiger Woods has 1 million viewers, do you get what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. So he's going to be the biggest influence. He's the most popular, so he's going to get the most.
Maybe they turn it into a Triller event and Doja Cat performs live and Snoop Dogg's commentating.
I like that.
I'd watch.
I know. I will watch that.
It'll be interesting to see. You know what? I think that's the coolest thing about the PGA. They've been so fan friendly for such a long time, and it's such a good product. To see them do more and more of that, I think it looks good on them. All right, we got to get out of here.
We do. We do.
Scott Bischoff is going to be in with us tomorrow. Only a week away from the draft this time tomorrow, so he's going to sit in with us at noon tomorrow. We'll have a new edition of the draft show as well. In the meantime, thanks to all the boys around here, Joe and Fish and Art, and we appreciate every one of you guys. Joique, always a pleasure. We will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock right here on Baligian and Bell. Have yourselves a great afternoon, everybody.